they don't care if they get caught doing mischievous things anymore. If they have military prowess and political capital and favor, why even hide it? This is why I say we have to move faster. So when I began talking about international exposure and diversification internationally a couple of years ago, it's really key because Africa is the gold mine, no pun intended. I think in this era, because people will not stand up to villains like this, there's no reason to hide what their plan is anymore. I think we have to stop being brainwashed, taking in so much media, focusing on bullshit that doesn't matter, so we can kind of thwart this kind of attack on the continent.
Pan-African lifestyle, it's a vibe, yeah. It's a lifestyle, it's a vibe, yeah. African lifestyle, it's a vibe, yeah. Pan-African lifestyle, it's a vibe, yeah.
Welcome to Pan-African Lifestyle, where we rep the motherland. We post content regularly and invite you to subscribe and share if you're a pal. That's a Pan-African lifestyler.
Well, we know about the history of white folks abusing the continent of Africa. We know about the Berlin Conference, where literally they got together and split up Africa and said, well, who's going to take different parts? We know about King Leopold killing more people. Let me be very clear, killing more people in the Congo than Hitler killed Jews in Europe. We can go on and on and on how the French, how the British, how the United States, all of these countries raped and pillaged the continent of Africa. Now we have the caucasity of Erik Prince, the founder of Blackwater, the largest private military company in the world. He actually said this in a recent interview.
All this talk of illegal migration in Europe, in the United States, it ultimately comes down to a contest of what is governance. Who is governed? Which countries are governed well? And if so many of these countries around the world are incapable of governing themselves, then it's time for us to just put the imperial hat back on to say, we're going to govern those countries if you're incapable of governing yourselves, because enough is enough. We're done being invaded.
Because our own national security risk is at stake.
Exactly.
National security interests are at stake.
You can say that about pretty much all of Africa. They're incapable of governing themselves and benefiting their citizens because the governments there are all about looting and pillaging and lining their pockets and going shopping in Paris instead of actually making their country better.
People on the left are going to watch this. They're going to say, wait a minute, Erik Prince is talking about being a colonialist again.
Absolutely. Yes. Enough. But the countries that cannot fix themselves, particularly in Africa, the worst, it's time to think about other governance options because they are clearly not capable of self-government.
The countries in Africa that cannot fix themselves. See, that's quite interesting that you would hear Erik Prince say those things because, and y'all do know that his sister is Betsy DeVos, who served as the education secretary under Donald Trump. This shows that she's an idiot and her brother's an idiot because they don't know anything about American history. In fact, I'm going to use one particular country y'all heard me just mention, the Congo. Lumumba came to the United States and during one of his visits after he became prime minister. And in a particular meeting, President Dwight Eisenhower gave the order to assassinate Lumumba, to take him out. It is documented by some that this was the first time in American history where a president gave a direct order to take out a foreign leader. I don't believe that's the case, though. So here they are. They get their independence from Belgium. 2 months in, the CIA and others worked to kill Lumumba. Here you murder, you align with his opponents, you kill him the country goes into chaos, leads to Mobutu becoming a dictator. Let me say it again. We helped put a dictator in office, and that country is still trying to gain its footing since it got its independence. What would the Congo look like today had the United States not aligned with others to take out Patrice Lumumba in the Congo?
They don't care if they get caught doing mischievous things anymore. If they have military prowess and political capital and favor, why even hide it? This is why I say we have to move faster. So when I began talking about international exposure and diversification internationally a couple of years ago, it's really key because Africa is the gold mine, no pun intended. I think in this era, because people will not stand up to villains like this, there's no reason to hide what their plan is anymore. I think we have to stop being brainwashed, taking in so much media, focusing on bullshit that doesn't matter, so we can kind of thwart this kind of attack on the continent.
Yes, there's a corruption in Africa. Yes, leadership crisis in Africa is there. Yes, the people of Africa are suffering. Yes, the people of Africa deserve better. But that better is not you coming out to the continent and colonizing again.
Like, what are we going to do? What is the action that we're willing to take as a community, as a people, right? As part of that, the diaspora, like, it's there. And they're telling you, like, hey, this is our plan. This is what we're going to do. We've done it before. And you know what? The way it looks, you can't run it, so we need to come in and do it. I don't even want to call it a warning sign. I think we have to figure out what our course in action is. And hopefully it's not a small group or a small conglomerate of people, but it's a large mass of people that decide, like, all right, nah, we can't. We've seen this happen. We know how history has played out before. Here's our time. And when we talk about the next 5 to 10 years being important, this is part of that game plan as well.
A lot of white people have never looked at any other group of people as regular human beings or on the same level of them. And this is why they have taken over the entire world, right? I think a lot of times, especially black people, we have a situation where we want the best for people, and we want to think that the best, and we always forget everything that's ever happened, and we want to just start new, and we want to just act like everybody's this is a new day. It's really not. It's the same day as it was before.
Yep.
Like,
the shielded.
It might be shielded, it might be masked, but at the end, you are who you are in this world. So there are racist people in this world. That's not going to change. There are people that think that they are superior in this world. That's not going to change. No matter what, like, you might lose a war, but that doesn't necessarily change the way that you think in your brain. So I think that that's important for people to understand. It's especially important for African nations to understand because, you know, African people, just like black people in America, are very welcoming people, and they're very forgiving people as well. But that's to their detriment. It's happened before. So if you have to learn from history, you can't make the same mistakes. So be careful who you welcome into your country. Be careful who you accept money from. Be careful who you give your natural resources to, because history can repeat itself.
Thanks for tuning in to Pan-African Lifestyle. Share your thoughts in the comments section and follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Pan-African Lifestyle to be inspired. For awesome pal merch, check out Pan-African Lifestyle/shop. Keep repping the motherland.
Pan-African lifestyle.